Well, we are having a wonderful time here this morning, and it is a perfect example of what a great neighbourhood is all about. The amazing turn-up this morning shows just how strong the community spirit is, particularly in this neck of the woods. Thank you, everybody.
It's fantastic. Everyone walking their dogs and having a chat and going for a jog. Getting to know your neighbours doesn't just provide you with friendship, of course. It can also make you feel safer in your home. Here to tell us more is the founder of Get to Know Your Neighbour Day, Andrew Heslop. Andrew, good to see you again.
G'day.
Now, do you find most people are friends with their neighbours?
Statistically, yes. It shows an Australian statistic survey this year by the University of Melbourne showed that city people are increasingly becoming better aware of their neighbours, but and help them out, odd jobs and things around the home. But in order to do street parties or some sort of big activity, no. But country people, however, are more likely to know their neighbours because the communities are smaller.
Right.
Okay, and why is it so important to know your neighbours? I mean, not necessarily just the person immediately next door to you.
I think it's about developing that sense of community, and as we can see here this morning, it's fantastic. You know, everyone gets together, comes together when there's a need. I think also in times like we're living in at the moment, where that perceived threat to us from terrorism and other issues, people want to feel safe and welcome, and they want to know who lives around them because they want that sense of security.
And I suppose it's not a halfway house, so to speak, is that if you're going to get to know your neighbours, you've got to do it well.
Yeah.
To find out what sort of people they are. Don't want to put a dampener on it,
yep.
Because there are some risks, aren't there?
Yep. Yeah, and you're in the age group of people who are likely to stay in their home more often. People aged between 35 and 54 will stay at home in the one house for much longer. So that length of time, which on average is 12 years, will encourage you to develop the relationships with people around you. But younger people and I guess career people, students particularly, are also going to be less likely to know their neighbours because they move house more often.
So then what's a good way to get to know your neighbours? How do you start? Is it as simple as when somebody new moves in next door, you bake them a cake and you go and say hello?
It could be that. National Get to Know Your Neighbour Day is on the last Sunday in March every year, so that can be the point at which you go and meet the people next door or across the street for the first time. But, you know, everyone moves in and out of their house every day of the week. 17% of the population moves house every year, so that's a lot of cakes. But increasingly, you know, it's looking after the people who live around you. It's checking on their mail. It's looking out for them, particularly if they're elderly or they live alone. But next year, Neighbour Day started in Melbourne in 2003 when a elderly woman was found in a suburban home 2 years after she'd passed away. And next year, Kofi Annan has pledged that the United Nations will promote Neighbour Day worldwide through 1,200 of their agencies.
Oh, isn't that fantastic?
And Neighbour Day receives no government funding. It's all funded and developed and promoted by me. And you've got the UN now saying this is a great initiative. Prince Charles has got behind it and said he can't believe the success of this and what a great initiative it is. And Bill Clinton too.
Good on you.
That's terrific. Well done.
Good on you. There are so many benefits. I was saying earlier, we've got a lovely, lovely neighbour, and my kids adore her, and they run in and first tell her their news. You know, when Nick has his soccer trophy, Lolo's the first person that he wants to show, and it's such a special relationship. It's really lovely.
And that's really important to develop. That sense of community is absolutely vital.
All right, we will. And thank you to all the neighbours that have come down this morning.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Joined in the block party here.
And when you go away, just the comfort of telling your neighbour that you're going, or they tell you, keep an eye on the place.
Bring the bins in, the mail.
Yeah.
It's good. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're about to go away or something, are you?
Oh, no,
Needing to get the mail.
Lovely neighbours, the Toms.
Yeah, that's nice. It is really special. Well, we'll have all the information about Get to Know Your Neighbour Day on our website, so you can head there. It was the last Sunday in March.
Ahead this morning, we're going to wake up the neighbours. The Angels joined us to perform their hit Take a Long Ride at 8:40.
It's one way to get to know them, isn't it? Morning. Next up, though, this morning's headlines and today's weather. You're watching the Sunrise Block Party live from Malvern East in Melbourne.